And we're live to the millions of you that are watching at home right now. We have a very special guest on this channel. You know him as Mike Smack Shack. You know him as that gaming channel that I can't remember the name of.
Mike's Ancient Arcade.
Yes, Mike's Ancient Arcade. Welcome once again, Mike.
I'm not famous. I'm not even in the top 4 million.
You're making the big YouTube money. $1 a month at a time.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's like 20 cents a month.
Wow.
I don't know. I haven't gotten a payout from YouTube since I started, so I have no idea.
They've been dinging you for the swearing. They just keep removing that 20 cents.
Oh man, I keep getting freaking copyright strikes for my music.
And
all
I've been careful.
And it's always on my live. Most of it's always on my live streams. And it's usually either in the intro or the outro. So what I do is I just tell them, just cut that whole part out so that when somebody goes back to rewatch the live stream. See, I have a method to this. So when you go back to watch the live stream, you don't have to watch the 5-minute intro because YouTube already cut it out for me because I use copyrighted music. See, now that is how you play the system.
I actually always wondered when you put those songs on at the beginning. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna let it fly, like after the fact. There was no way.
After the fact, I can do it live, but after the fact, no. They'll usually within 24 hours they'll usually send me an email saying you've had it's not a copyright strike, it's a copyright claim.
Okay, claim. Yeah.
So what it is basically they're just saying that you can leave that there, but we're not going to pay you anything. We're going to pay them. And the hilarious one is when I use the same song over and over again.
Yeah.
It's usually claimed by a different company as a different song title every time. So like when I play, especially the big one is like when I play After Dark by Mr. Kitty, which is one of my favorite songs. Every time they ding that one, it's always a different song name with a different artist, with a different company, a different recording association claiming it. And I just screw them all. I just say, oh yeah, just cut that part of the video out so I don't have to worry about it. It's fun. It's great. I love it.
You know, I had one video. It was like I took a CRT TV, so it was my daughter's. I bought her like one of these little Disney Princess CRT TVs.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
So I bought it for like next to nothing, and I connected an HDMI adapter. So it went from HDMI to what is it? Red, yellow, white. I lost the name of it. There we go, composite. You just said it before, actually. Yeah. So I have a HDMI to composite, and it plugs into the TV. And one part of the video, I was demonstrating that you could put YouTube videos on the CRT.
Yeah.
And then I showed like nothing, like a tiny little clip of me. I just pointed the camera at the TV playing like some Peppa Pig or whatever. But it was like this like animated, but it was not animated. It was like Play-Doh almost, you know?
Oh, okay.
Like and I got a warning on that.
Yeah.
I was like, are you serious? Like, you can barely hear it. It's on this little TV. All I see is the line for the CRT going up and down. Like, really? You're going to claim that part? Like, that's that bad?
So it's like when I was doing the Sorbet Leopard videos, the live streams last year, showing, what you can do with Sorbet Leopard, and I was playing funny clips from Crocodile Dundee and Crocodile Dundee 2. And they dinged me on that too.
That's so tough. You know what you should do? You should go onto like one of those other Macac guys' channels when you do that, and just like go into their videos and just start showing them. Like start showing like one of Bruce's repairs or something on your channel. Just for fun. I remember a little while back, I was like, Steve was on a stream, I guess, with Bruce. And I kept typing into the chat how much I really like Steve's website, recapamac.com, and that he's always advertising it as his own website whenever he's on a stream. And he was like getting nervous. He's like, I never said that. I never said that was my stream. It's not my channel. It's not my website. What are you saying? It's not. And he was like actually getting visibly upset. He was actually pretty funny.
Steve freaks out over that kind of stuff.
Well, he's like, take it so seriously. I was like, I'm just screwing around with you, man. Not serious. He told me on the last time I saw him, he's like, we're on Dave's stream. Dave's last stream well, not the one you were on today, but the one before, I think we got up to the max amount of people. And Steve told me that, because at the beginning a while back, I kept annoying him about his Apple Cube room. Now, obviously he doesn't have an Apple Cube room. That's just moronic of me. But apparently some people on some of his live streams believed me and were sending him emails asking about his Apple Cube room.
Yeah.
And if they could see it, like, do people really think that he has this? So dumb. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's funny. He gets worked up over stupid shit.
I annoyed him for a good year about getting his iPhone 12 giveaway. And like every stream, and people like, really? Like, this guy's giving away an iPhone 12? I'm like, that's what I heard. I'm like, I don't know. I think he mentioned it before the stream. Not too sure.
I asked him for his iPhone 8. He wouldn't even give it to me.
No, he's going to hang on to that forever.
He hoards it. Yep. He's like, well, I still use it to record video. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, technically, I can see why, because it will do 4K, barely.
Yeah, 4K 30, I think. Because I have
4K 30.
I had an 8.
Now, my 10 will do 4K 60.
Yeah.
At least I'm pretty sure. I know it does 4K. I don't use it for 4K because I don't do 4K.
No,
I'm pretty sure it does 4K 60.
I've never bothered with mine.
4K. Yep. Yeah, it'll do 4K 60. Which is
so,
actually pretty impressive for being a bottom of the line phone, for an iPhone.
Well, that's why when some channels get these expensive like cameras, and they're not exactly like MK HBD or whatever.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder, like, why are you spending all that money? In the end, like, you're not making money off of it in some of your small channels.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what. When I first started, the very first videos I did on an iPhone 4.
Wow.
4S,
okay. Yeah.
Which they were HD. They were 1080 HD. It was only 30 frames per second, but it was 1080 HD, and they were actually not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, you know what? I want to do this a little more. I want to get more into it. So I went out and I bought a used Sony Alpha 5100, and great camera.
Yeah. But
the sound was abysmal. I loved the video. The video was always beautiful, but the sound was absolutely horrendous. It's so tinny. Like, if you go back and watch some of my videos, it's like the audio is just so kind of crappy and tinny. And I was like, you know what? And I used that thing for about a year. Now I paid $400 for it, and that was used. So I got the iPhone XR. And of course, I bought this through Metro PCS.
Okay.
Which is the prepaid arm of T-Mobile. And because that's who I had at the time. Mm-hmm. Well, shortly after I bought this phone, like a month and a half after I bought this, my sister switched me onto her plan through regular T-Mobile. Okay. Well, what did you know? I couldn't unlock this fucking phone for a year. Okay, so I couldn't use this phone, so I had to go back to my 6S Plus, which, truthfully, didn't upset me. I love that phone. I still have it. I still use it.
Do they still do that locking in the States, right? Like, that's still 100% a thing.
Yes.
Especially
if you buy a prepaid phone.
I find insane.
Which I think is bullshit. So what I started doing, since this phone was laying around doing nothing, is I started making videos with it. And I found out, so I have this Bluetooth boom headset, like a trucker's headset with a microphone, boom mic on it. And I did a couple of videos with that. And that was freaking like awesome. It was like the best audio I ever had for this little freaking boom mic that I bought at the Goodwill for like $3.99. And it's Bluetooth of all things.
And it actually sounds good in its Bluetooth.
And I can do full HD resolution, 60 frames per second on the iPhone.
Yeah.
And since I put OpenCore on my Mac Pro here, I mean, this thing just chews that shit up. And it just chews up and spits it right back out. It doesn't even phase this machine.
We were talking about phones and recording with phones and all that fun stuff, Dave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, Dave's actually using his old iPhone for a camera.
Yeah. Now, today I use my 13 iMac, good grief, been a long day. iPhone 13 Pro Max. So I use that today because I was streaming off of it too. But I use that camo for
Yeah,
my
don't
iPhones.
you have an 8 Plus, right? Is that what you use?
I have a 7 Plus, but
Or 7 Plus?
yeah, but it keeps it. The last stream, not today's stream, but the stream I did the other day. Let me turn my computer a little bit because I got to move my mic here.
Yeah.
Revo's on the desk here. So
Oh,
yeah. So anyway, watch out, Reby. All right.
she's always on the desk.
Oh yeah, purring up a storm. But anyway, so it kept dropping out on me. It kept turning off, and I had to keep. Well, I looked on Camo. They dropped support with the 7 Plus. So that's why I did
Sounds
my
like it's dropping
13. I
out.
do. Yeah. So I'll do a iOS update. Maybe that'll help. I don't know, but probably not. But
See,
yeah,
the thing
I
is,
use.
I've never had to use any extra software to make my phone work as a camera.
Mhm.
You shouldn't need to. Well, depending.
Well, you
on...
plug into OBS though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. So, but yeah.
You know what I don't get. So as I type something out, you were talking about your phone before, Mike, and how it's locked to a carrier, right? Now we haven't had that in Canada for years.
What's
Like
that?
that used to be the way. Like you get a phone from a carrier.
Oh,
right?
carrier
It's a
lock.
contract.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
Well,
It's
I know
against law
it's
now.
actually illegal in a lot of countries now.
That's it. You can't do that here.
Yeah,
I
and
find
I
it insane
still
that
do
it
that
still
here.
happens.
Now, most of the carriers don't do it. Like T-Mobile and them, they don't do it because supposedly they sell the phones for full price.
Well, if you're paying for the whole phone, then yeah, I wouldn't see why they could.
You know, supposedly, I don't know, which I call bullshit. So I paid $700 for this iPhone 10R. Wasn't even brand new; it was refurbished, and this was right after the 12 came out. So I mean, it wasn't like an old phone, but it wasn't like the top of the line technology either. And they're telling me, oh well, we put a carrier lock on because they're subsidized. It's like the full phone cost is $1,100. I said to them, I said, fuckers, for $1,100, I'll go buy an iPhone 12.
Yes, exactly.
You know, I said, first of all, I don't even like this phone. I still don't care for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's useful. I have to admit, the battery lasts forever
Well,
compared to my 6
comparing
Plus.
to a 6 Plus, yeah, okay.
Well, now I've had the battery replaced in my 6 Plus, my 6S Plus.
By Apple or by
By Apple, yes. Well, not by Apple. It was done at Best Buy, but it was supposedly using Apple parts.
Yeah.
And it was through Apple, so it's got the Apple warranty on it. I did that purposely. I mean, I could have did it myself. They're freaking easy as hell to do.
It wasn't software blocked before, right? Like they are now. Now, if you don't do it the right way,
I think that started around the 8.
I think so.
The 6 and I think the 7 you can still do. I think it's the 8. When you get into the 8, and I know for sure the 10, that when you start putting, you could replace the batteries, but it won't show you the battery health.
Yeah.
You know.
But I find it such a vile practice that these companies do. Like, and they say it's like, oh, it's for the best for the consumer.
Yeah.
No. You're doing it because you're trying to keep control
They're
of
doing
your
it
product.
because they can. Is what it
Yeah.
is.
In my last stream today, I was talking with Trina and Adam, and I was talking about how, it's not a new thing, these kind of like lockouts. Like we talk about it more now. Like even on cars. Like I drive a Hyundai, and it's a car. And I've taken my Hyundai. It's a 2015. Okay, 2015 Sonata, and I've taken it to a garage and to change the brakes. And they put in better brakes than what it comes with. Like it's a friend of my wife's. It's his business, so he took care of me. He put really solid stuff. But when you stopped, it sounded like a truck, like screeching to a halt. So he kept changing the pads. And then he had to change. Like he changed it multiple times. And I said, you know what? Forget it. Like put in the Hyundai parts. I'm like, this is not working. You put in the Hyundai parts. Quiet. And he said, he's like, it's not the first time it's happened. He said he's changed a woman who had a one of their SUVs, and he did the same thing. He gave her better parts than what Hyundai would give. And
Yeah.
he said she couldn't take it anymore. He said it made so much noise when she braked, and the parts were good. So these companies do it intentionally.
I've run into that too. So, I assume I was a mechanic for 25 years.
Well, you've spoken about your car stuff
Okay.
before.
So, I've done my fair share of brakes, believe me. And it's amazing how often that happens when you try to put something better in than what's recommended, especially if you don't change the brake rotors at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have all kinds of issues. As a matter of fact, my Saturn is a good example of that. So I bought my Saturn probably close to 8 years ago now, 2016.
6 years.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 6 years. So about 7 years ago. And as soon as the first time my ex drove it, she warped the rotors. I had no freaking idea how she did it. She warped the rotors the first time she drove it. So the place we bought it from had put brand new brakes in the front, and they put new shoes in it. It's got drum brakes in the back, so they put new brake shoes in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So they warped the rotors. So I took the rotors off. I threw them on my brake lathe, which is just a big metal lathe made for rotors and drums. Oh my God, I couldn't cut them down. They were so freaking hard. It was ridiculous. So I figured, okay, well, fine. I'm going to buy new rotors. I'm just going to buy new brakes. So I wanted to get the good brakes because of the way, she was still learning to drive at the time. So I figured, well, I'll get the ceramic brakes, they'll last longer, Oh my God. They destroyed a set of rotors in like a month. And she wasn't even I was the one driving it, and I've never worked rotors in my life.
Wow.
So I had to put another set on, finally put the cheaper stuff, the softer ones on, and haven't had problems since. After that, my brakes lasted, I just had them replaced back in January.
But they want you to buy the OEM.
5 years.
They want you to buy the OEM. They want to be the ones collecting that money, and when you're repairing something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like I was talking in the stream before, but I was talking about like this, like NES games. Okay, this is just a game that I can't get working no matter what. I'm assuming one of the chips just, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Nintendo.
I've cleaned it 4,000 times.
Nintendo's really big on that shit. Oh my God.
But they have a lockout chip, right, on their board, and they have a lockout chip in their NES system, and that's the way they had the security on their consoles in the 80s. So
they had that all the way up. All their even the Nintendo 64 had it.
It's crazy. And people don't mention it because they just say, "Oh, it's all Apple, this, and all the newer companies now." But
Nintendo was one of the biggest ones to do that. So back when the Famicom came out back in 83, 82.
Yeah, it was before the NES.
Nintendo, you would make a game, you would submit it to Nintendo, and Nintendo would make the cartridge because Nintendo.
They'd sell you the board.
Have Nintendo make the cartridge, and you had to pay Nintendo for that cartridge.
Yeah,
that was how they maintained control over their games. And they did the same thing in the U.S. market, and and then they had the 10 NES lockout chip, and they actually used a version of that all the way up until the GameCube.
Wow!
And the GameCube, they just figured, well, it's a tiny little DVD. Who's going to be able to copy a tiny little DVD? Well, that didn't work out too well for them. So,
all these companies do it. They've been doing it forever. This is not a new thing.
Yeah.
Like, the Apple.
Now they use proprietary memory cards, they're just SD cards. They're just in a funky package.
You want to see something proprietary? So this is not retro in the least bit. Okay. So
is that a Vita?
Retrotech, you froze up.
that's a great shot there.
Oh, the signal just went dead.
There you go.
All of a sudden, I don't know what happened there.
That was a great shot.
There we go. It just shut off. Everything just shut off. Let's try that again.
Is that a Vita?
Okay, so this is a PS Vita.
Okay, yeah, they use that special memory stick, the PS Vita memory stick.
Which is?
Had to buy from Sony and costs 3 times as much as the same equivalent size SD card.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So I bought this at the garage sales, and I was like, "Oh, I got a great deal. I paid like $40 for the console. It's worth hundreds, right?"
Until
And
you
it
go to
takes
buy
like this, but it has the memory card, which it won't focus because it's focusing on my face. Can't get out of the.
Yep.
Anyways, you can kind of see, it. But either the slot or the memory card's dead. But just to say that, if you didn't buy one of their memory sticks, you're not using this as a game system.
No, because
It
there's
needs
no
it.
optical drive on it. It's not like the PSP where they use that UMD optical drive. Or
Well, they have
something
like
type
it
of-
has like a game slot, but to run the game, it needs to copy it into the memory on the card.
Oh,
Like I
Oh.
put a game in, and it says this game cannot run without a memory card,
that is.
and you have to buy the memory card from Sony to be able to play the game.
Yeah,
Like they stick you with that extra fee right on top.
it's
So-
it's just a racket. You know.
Well, it's just like Windows. All right, so we have equipment that where we share internet, IP, and it's all linked, hardwired into the building. And we have some things that work over there. And every time we do a Windows update, there's compatibility issues. So then we have to get IT on the phone to get it straightened out. Well, we have one piece of equipment. It's called an autorefractor. It's just basically just gives us information to plug in the system so the doctor can look at it. But anyway, it just quit working. It would not see the camera. And so anyway, to make a long story short, it is not Windows 10 compatible. It is not Windows 11 compatible. So I had to put the doctor had an old HP laptop, and I put Windows 7 on it because Windows 10 and Windows 11, the drivers don't exist on their platform to run that piece of equipment. So we put Windows 7 on it, no problem. Found it right away. And it's just a cable with two ends on it. And that's it. It's nothing special about it. You can go to the store and buy it. But for whatever reason, it could not find the drivers for it. So we went to Windows 10. Never had a problem since then. And that machine only goes to that machine. So
Have you tried using a Windows 7 driver under Windows 10? It is doable.
Well,
Not recommended, but it is doable.
It's funny you mention that because we called the people that make that particular piece of equipment, and I told them, to get this to work, I had to put Windows 7 on it, and no problem. It saw the cable, no problem. Now it communicates.
Yeah.
And they said, and I go, well, and that's what I basically said. I said, can you extract? He says, no, we don't do that, or whatever. So we just run Windows 7 on it. It's fine. So.
Windows 7 is still supported until next year.
It is.
Embedded versions, yes.
Mm-hmm.
What I would suggest doing is maybe trying to find an old thin client that has a version of Windows 7 embedded on it. Because you probably don't need a lot of horsepower to run that thing, right?
No.
I would just look on the eBay and shit for like an old HP T630 thin client or something that would have just enough power to do what you need to do with that thing that runs Windows 7 embedded. Because that's actually what we were running at work until last month. We just upgraded our thin clients. Now they only have AMD A6s in them. They're like, and a Core i3, like barely one step above a Core 2 Duo. But I mean, then at least you'd be supported in terms of your Windows, and you wouldn't have to worry about any issues. Like if you have it on a network or anything.
Yeah, it's not actually. It's
if it's not networked, then don't worry about it.
Yeah, it just goes to that machine. It's hardwired right into it.
I thought maybe you might have had it on a network. I wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, it used to be, but not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Because of that, yeah.
Well, I was going to say if you need to network it, that's a suggestion. But another thing is you might be able to just find the driver for Windows 7 and just basically install it on Windows 10. I've done it for a couple of things on my Dell, and it works mostly. I've had a couple of things where it's not totally compatible, but most of the time it works fine. So So, because the operating core is very similar from Windows 7 to 8, which is what 10 and 11 are based on. They're based on 8. So,
Or just install Linux on all the machines. Just tell your IT guy.
that would be
Linux.
the ideal way to go. But
Yeah.
Enough
Yeah.
Windows talk.
Yeah.
You're hurting Jay's ears apparently
you know,
over there.
Jay's an idiot.
There we go. No, we were just complaining about a bunch of stuff. But going back to the phone
We're
though.
talking about Windows, but we're bitching about Windows. We're not saying
Yeah.
anything good about Windows.
Well, I find is
Absolutely.
it on Windows 11 now? You have to have a Microsoft account to be able to use it. Is that what they implemented?
So on the home version, so if you have Windows 10 or 11 Home, you
Yeah.
must have a Microsoft account. If you have the Pro version, you do not.
So if you pay more, you don't need to.
Bingo.
Effectively. Yeah.
Well, what we noticed when we went from 10 to 11 is like you can't get to Microsoft Word without paying for it now, or PowerPoint or Excel. You have to pay for it.
It's on it's Office 365 now.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They do make versions of Office that stand alone now. I have them.
Are they're paid versions standalone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to pay for it. I didn't pay for it, but
I'm not surprised you didn't pay for it.
But I have Microsoft Office on my Mac and on the PC. I have both versions. I have 2019 on the Mac.
Yeah.
Was the latest version, which I'm just now running into walls where it won't update because they don't want to support Mojave anymore. And I have 2021 on the PC, or 2020 on the PC, and that's fully compatible with Windows 11 because I've used it on Windows 11. I have Windows 11 on my big Dell. I installed it on there just as I kicked them Microsoft balls to prove, basically to prove to myself, yeah, you can do it. Their requirements are arbitrary bullshit because they are arbitrary bullshit.
Well, there was that thing. There was like some security features they said that your board needs like TPM
Yeah, the
or
TPM
something.
2.0. You have to have a 8th gen or higher core series processor or a Xeon W series and something else, an AMD, like a 6th gen AMD A series APU, and a whole bunch of other shit. But all you need to do is swap out a couple files in the installer, and it fucking installs just fine.
We gotta wonder, like, what kind of agreement do they have with the computer manufacturers if they're bumping up like the specs of what you need, right? Like, I have a laptop that's
They
like from
don't.
2017.
They're trying to force people to upgrade
The machine.
computers, and since Microsoft is getting into the hardware business more and more now,
Yeah.
there's more incentive for them because you remember every time you buy a computer with Microsoft Windows on it, Microsoft gets a cut.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, with all these manufacturers of the computers, they're helping them by doing this, right? They're making sure people are buying new computers.
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody's the computer manufacturers and Microsoft are both making out like bandits right now.
I have like a 2016, 2017 laptop, and I picked it up for like $20. The person said it was working like garbage. I was like, yeah, because you had a spinning hard drive in it and 4 gigs of RAM. Like, yeah, it's gonna work like garbage. But I put an SSD. It's up to, I only swapped it to 8 gigs because I figured it was fine, just for like surfing and watching videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And it runs fine Windows 10, but it's not supported. It's like one generation behind what can actually be installed.
I run Windows 10.
Windows 11.
I run Windows 10 on a Core 2 Duo, and it runs acceptably. Not great, but it runs acceptably. I mean, my IBM ThinkPad back here, my old X60 that I used to have sitting on my desk, is a 2 gigahertz Core 2 Duo with 8 gigs of RAM, 4 gigs of RAM, excuse me. And of course, I had an SSD in it. And Windows 10 actually didn't run half bad on that thing. I wouldn't push it any older than that. Now, that had a Penryn processor, which was one of the last Core 2 Duos made. But, it wasn't great, but, I mean, it ran pretty good.
It's a big change from 10 to 11. The way 10, they were making it run on as much as they could. Intentional.
Yeah.
Now it's limit. buy new hardware, and even their own hardware is not great. I'm sorry, you have. I don't know if you do you still have it, the Surface.
I got rid of that thing.
Yeah, I have a
I mean,
Surface for
it
work.
was nice. Don't get me wrong; it was a nice tablet, but it was
It's
redundant. I have an iPad,
yeah.
and honestly, I like my iPad better than I like the Surface. I mean, the Surface. I did like the Surface because it was very compact and it was a full-fledged Windows computer.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, the idea of it is nice, but my idea of a laptop is not a tablet. You know.
No.
I mean, there's use cases where something like that would come in handy, but I found that the tablet Surface was just too limiting. You know, whereas I've got my Toshiba here, and this thing's a fucking chonk. You know, it's the size of my freaking bedroom, and but it's got like 4 USB 3 ports on it. You know, it's got an SD card, which that had a card slot, micro SD card slot, but this has an SD card slot. You know, it's got a deep Blu-ray DVD drive, and the whole 9 yards. Where I had none of that shit with the Surface. I had one USB port, and that was it.
I use I got one for work, and the first week I got it, it kept crashing whenever I opened any Microsoft applications. Yeah, it was pathetic. I had to tell the IT guys.
Product.
I was opening like PowerPoint, and the whole thing would like just freak out and just crash on me. And they're like, "Oh, we think we need to update the applications," and I fixed it myself.
Jeez. The only Microsoft piece of hardware that I ever liked was a freaking mouse. They made some pretty damn good mice back in the day.
I still have one of those. One of the first laser mice there.
They're the first optical mice.
Yeah.
With the little red spot on the very back.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love those things. Those things were great.
They made them in black too. I remember I had it in beige, but I made it in black. I found a black one
with the jet black one with the little red dot on the back was like sexy as hell back then.
I picked one up.
Actually, I'd still use one of those today, to be honest with you.
They're not as good as like optical mice today, though. Just
no,
say,
they're
like,
not as
using
precise.
That's it. But certain surfaces don't work with that mouse.
Yeah,
compared to
like if my desk is white,
yes.
So if I tried to use it on my desk, it wouldn't work. It won't work on that. It's got to have some kind of something. It works best if you have something contrasting, really contrasting for it to look at.
Mm-hmm.
So because the camera is so low resolution compared to this is just a basic Logitech mouse, and this thing's probably 10 years old, and this thing probably has the 1,000 times precision as the original Microsoft mouse. But man, that thing was so comfortable to use.
Yes. Actually, I'll show you both something if you give me 1 second and you entertain yourselves. I have, speaking of Microsoft and mice, I have something and retro. Something you'd both probably think are pretty interesting. So give me 1 moment. I did not leave. I'm just going to go pick something up. It's right to my right. But it's going to make a lot of noise to get it out.
No problem.
I thought you were going to go watch the Retro Repair Round, though.
I was, and then I saw your thing. It's just about wrapping up. Yeah, they were. I was laughing nonstop on it. Hilarious. But anyway, they were about the first 15 minutes. They were talking about our stream with Ron's thing blowing up, and and I gave him the timestamp. It's 17 minutes, 5 seconds or something like that, just before. But I will do a short on that. But anyway,
I have to check that out.
Yeah, but so anyway, so Joe got to looking. So Joe said, "Well, you know what? I guess I didn't do a very good job of checking that circuit out." So, version 3.
It wasn't the part; it was the board itself.
It was the board itself. Yeah.
Oh,
but he they put that in there, that chip in there to just basically self-detonate to protect the system, and it did that part. It did
basically
okay.
Like a fuse.
Yeah, blew a hole right through that sucker, as you saw. So.
Well, I guess that worked.
What did you kill on live on stream?
We were still tinkering around with Ron's TTL board in the Mac Plus or
is that for the
SE.
video out there?
The stream that I did today on it. So anyway, I got it hooked up and everything, so I had not powered it up. And so anyway, I flipped the power on, and I heard the tink, and all of a sudden I heard a big pop, and then all of a sudden I smelled smoke, and I couldn't get that thing unplugged fast enough, right? And so I go, oh shoot, shit, what happened? And he goes, what's wrong? He goes, oh man, you didn't hear that pop? And it's a real loud pop too.
Then it
So-
exploded.
And so anyway, so I turned. He goes, "Well, do you smell?" He goes, "Check that board. Do you smell the board? That little board?" I said, "Oh yeah, it stinks." So I pulled the board off, and I snipped the wires, and I said, "This thing's got a freaking hole through it. The IC. It blew a hole right through the chip."
Wow.
And that's basically, it acts like a fuse. So anyway, they were talking about the first 15 minutes of the show. They were talking about that.
So
What happened today.
is your Mac okay though, or is it just?
Oh
the
yeah, it's
board
fine.
that-
Yeah, that protected it. Yeah, it didn't hurt at all. Yeah, it works. The Rominator works fine. The Blue SCSI works fine on it.
So, it
So
wasn't
anyway,
like Ron's plan
so
to destroy you.
anyway, Joe's gonna redesign the circuitry on that. So Joe said, okay, I guess I didn't look it over good enough. So
You should tell him like, oh no, it destroyed the whole thing. You better send me another one that's.
oh no, it's all good.
in
No,
your
no,
favor.
Ron.
Everybody,
No,
please.
when it happened, Ron goes, "Hey, if there's, I'll make sure it's right." I said, "Oh, we'll see." And it powered up just fine, no problem with it. So anyway, so that was the excitement today. So
That's pretty scary. But this is what I wanted to show you both to
Okay.
say if you like retro.
Yep, it's got steel balls.
Yeah.
oh wow,
So
look at
that is a steel ball right there.
wow,
It's like immaculate. This thing.
wow.
Okay, it's if they used it, they probably used it like for a day. So yeah, it's the Microsoft Green-Eyed Mouse.
The green-eyed mouse. Oh.
So this, I believe, is their first ever mouse that they ever put.
Yes, that was the
computer.
very first
Oh.
Microsoft mouse.
And I seem to have Mike's Mac Shack twice on this stream.
Yeah,
Right.
if you add that second stream in, Mike.
Okay. Okay. I see Trina and Dave. What are we watching here?
Go
Am I gonna
to,
get a copyright
go-
strike for
No, go
for your
to
channel, Dave?
time 17:05. It's the very beginning of the stream.
Oh, what does the screen say, babe?
Oh, whoops.
This insert this or press any key to continue.
Oh.
Wow, I heard that.
I heard a pop.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be right back.
Oh, Dave, I heard a bad sound. What happened?
Uh-oh.
It exploded.
Oh,
It's a shame you didn't catch
wait!
it.
I'll show you. You'll see it in a second there.
It shorted out. That one. It beeped and it.
What was shorting out?
I just it.
I heard it snap.
Zap. It was literally only the board, the small board that you added in.
Where's the snap? Smell like smell the little board. Just the-
Like
It's
Rod.
the board and snap. Yeah.
Okay.
It did its job.
Did the cap blow? Or is it the IC?
The IC. No, there's a hole in it.
Ooh, the IC. What?
Luke says, "Shot at the bullet."
Well, it did its job, man. Exactly.
Look in the center of it right there. That's that center. There's a big
Jeez.
hole in there.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. That's insane.
Now, if Steve had been there, he'd have ran out the building. You know,
Probably.
That's actually my favorite clip.
It was loud. It sounded like a firecracker going off. But yeah.
Yeah, I heard it. It wasn't quiet.
Yeah.
Wow. You're just lucky it didn't destroy your whole Mac there. The
Yeah.
whole
Well,
logic board.
we're good.
Again, that could have been his plan all along.
So now, correct me if I'm wrong. So that thing, that board,
Uh-huh.
basically just takes the signals from the analog board and lets
Yep.
you route them to a TTL monitor.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then what we're doing is we're getting the in order to we're going to be doing RGB to HDMI. So we got a little Raspberry Pi with another board that you can do all the adjustments. So that 9-pin DB9 connector will go into that. Then we can pump a HDMI out the other end of it there.
Okay. Now, can I ask you a dumb question?
Okay, that's going.
Why?
Well, because if I want to, say if I want to, play games or do something with the Mac Plus and we're looking at it.
Oh, for screen capture and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious. I didn't know if you had
Yeah.
another ulterior motive.
That's it. And you can do this for the Plus or the SE.
Okay.
And
Well, you
so,
probably do it for the SE30 too, can't you?
yep, yeah. And so anyway, it's a real sweet little solution. It's easy to wire up, but like I said, there was a defect in there, and obviously
Oh.
we
Oh, I
found
would say
out.
so.
That's what happens when you're a beta tester. Shit blows up.
Yeah.
So wait, he didn't try this on his own machine first?
Apparently
What's
not.
that? Oh,
He didn't
well, he's
try it on
still
his own?
he's waiting to get his Raspberry Pi thing too, and so he's sending me the one he has. He got another one, and then we'll build them, and then we'll hook them up because I have a HDMI capture card, and it'll go. So that's the plan anyway. And then you can put it on any LCD monitor. You make your adjustments on it on the monitor. And I've seen the one that.
Are you
what is
using
it,
something like
Adrian Black does? And,
I was going to say, are you using something like a retro tank or something?
yeah, it's a thing that they made. It's a Raspberry Pi, and it's got another board that goes onto it that converts the
Yeah.
signal to that, and then you can upscale it or downscale
Yeah,
it.
upscales are, yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat.
Okay.
Yeah, Garth says, yeah, it's a good option for screen catcher. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
It is if it doesn't
curious
explode.
why you were doing this, because, it just doesn't seem like of all the machines you could do it to, I would think a Plus would be one of the few that you wouldn't really buy. I mean, I guess a Plus and an SE are the same, pretty much, except for the fact that the SE has a hard drive and the Plus doesn't.
Right. And
But-
the board, obviously the board's a little different, but yeah.
And I know you don't have an SE30, so
Right.
Yes.
But that is changing. My son has found my long lost SE30 that I bought new back in the day.
oh wow,
And so I do have another SE board that's been recapped a long time ago that came out of my sister-in-law's machine. And so if that board's fried, which I'm assuming it will, I'll stick that one in there. It'll boot up. And I do have a Rominator I can stick in there in case
nice.
the hard drive's fried, which I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So what did he have to go through to find your original SE30?
It's in his grandma's house up in the
Ah.
attic, and he went there yesterday because he was
Oh.
he was fixing his mom's car. He goes, "Dad, I know where it's at." So he found it, and I said, "Well, hopefully you can find the keyboard and the mouse with it too," because I said those are harder to find any more than the machines are.
Well,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
really. Not the ADB stuff. They're pretty
Yeah.
easy.
But so anyway, so we'll see. We'll get it. I'm going to see him on Father's Day, so I should have
Cool.
possession of it.
At least you're getting your SE30 back. I got hosed.
Well, where's your SE30?
I think my ex-wife sold it.
Oh, really? Oh, boy.
Yeah. It was mysteriously missing.
Yeah.
When Steve and I went to go find it. It was missing along with a lot of my other stuff that was worth something to me. So
Yes, Garth, I do not have an LC. I think I told you that. But I used to have a Mac 2 SI. I really
LCs
like that
suck.
machine.
I like the 2SI though.
So But anyway, yeah, it's.
I have an
hey,
LC 575, probably one of the best ones they made. Most LCs are shit, but the most of a lot of the 500s are pretty decent. So
Sorry.
Yes, SC30 recovered is an SC30 gained. Absolutely.
yeah,
Hey, you should see if Garth wants to come in. He's got a lot. Of
I
chat.
offered him if he wanted.
Oh,
He
okay.
was he's one of those fancy guys in Cupertino that he was making his dinner, making some steak and all that, and he turned it down.
It's actually Santa Cruz, but that's all right.
I just say Cupertino. It's okay.
I know exactly.
I made an
where it is.
assumption.
We were there not too long ago, so yeah.
Okay, could you put his address in the chat? So
I don't have his address.
No, he's busy. It's all right.
I don't hate all LCs. I don't like the LC and the LC2. Actually, most of the other LCs after those two weren't too bad.
No, I tried to take out my LC2, but
the
it's
first
stuck.
two got so crippled, it's not even funny.
Well, I do like.
But
the,
I do hold. I will admit that I do actually hold a very small part of my heart for the original LC, because the very first Mac I ever used was an LC with dual floppy drives and a 2E card. And the only reason we had the damn thing is because of the freaking 2E card. They had it just simply to run Apple II software on. Instead of having an Apple II, they bought a freaking. Well, I mean, we had a Macintosh, an Apple II GS too.
Yeah.
I realize this is not an LC, but this is the 2C I was talking to you about at the beginning of the stream.
Oh, nice.
When they just gave it to me. It
Wow.
works perfectly fine.
Nice.
I like free stuff.
Where do you live? Montreal?
All right. Talk to you
The
later,
area.
Garth. Have a good evening.
The area, not exactly in Montreal.
Well, no, I know that, but
No, meaning like I'm not on the island.
I don't know anything about Montreal, so.
It's an island.
Oh.
I
A lot
only
of people
know
don't
about
know that.
Windsor.
What's that?
I only know about Windsor.
Oh, that's
the
Ontario. It's Ron Province. It's closer to Trina than me. But yeah. But no, I was saying to Mike before that long time ago I picked up a classic for like $20 Canadian.
Well, that actually wouldn't be that long of a drive for me.
What, Montreal?
Yeah,
Do you have a passport?
I can get one.
Oh, there you go. Get your passport. Here it's like there's lineups at the passport office, and they'll only give you a passport if you're traveling in the next 24 to 48 hours. Otherwise, they turn you down now because they don't have enough manpower to put through all the applications.
Wow.
Luckily, mine was a 10-year, so I still I don't know if it's the same thing in the States that you could get like a 5-year or a 10-year passport.
And
that
they're
exist?
10 years here.
There's no 10 years.
Yeah. So I've
Yeah.
never had one, so I don't know. So it's 10 years.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
still 10 years.
So anyway, so mine is 10 years, and I could still go, but
So if you apply for a passport, say today,
Mhm.
and you got it, that's only good for just the time you go in, and that's it, and go out, or is it good for 10 years or 5 years?
well, for us, it's either or. You could pick. You pay a little bit more, you can have it for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like my last time was 10 years, and I made sure of it. So no, I'm still good. But they're telling us like if you plan on getting a passport now, unless if you're going in person to show your documentation and all that, right?
Mhm.
Unless you're planning on traveling within the next day or two, like one of their services where they speed it up to give it to you, don't bother showing up. They're not going to do it for you. There's so many people trying to get passports now because now everyone feels safe for traveling,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
We haven't gone anywhere out of the country in almost 3 years. So it's like, it's strange, but everyone is like rushing to leave, to get out, especially to the States.
How far outside Montreal do you live?
Not too far.
Oh, about 8 hours.
It's not that long at all.
No, it's pretty. Actually, after I get into New Jersey, it's a straight shot up 87 right into Montreal.
Yep. I mean, usually we go to Vermont, but it's not 8 hours. But oh,
Well,
man,
Vermont borders Canada, so
I love
Okay.
it there. Gotta say, out of the states I've been to, it's not tons, but out of the states I've been to, I've always loved it there because it's like, it's everyone's just friendly.
In
When you
Vermont.
go there, yeah, everyone's just super friendly, and there's no issues. I haven't had any issues with anybody when I've gone there, except for one thing, which I kept my mouth shut when this happened. So I was pretty, I'll call it pretty far south in the state, right, of Vermont, and I was at like some like thrift store or whatever, and I was waiting in line, and somebody asked me like, "Oh, where are you guys from?" I said, "Oh, we're from Canada." I'm like, "Oh yeah? What do you?" And this is like, I'd say 2016, something around 2017. So, what do you think of our president? Now, I'm not dumb. Either the person really loved him, or they really hated him. But
Yeah.
I'm not the one that's going to start a fight with whichever way it is. I said I have absolutely no opinion in the least bit. And they're like, "Oh yeah?" I said, "Yeah." And they started going off on him, just swearing and screaming and all that about him. But the thing is, I know you guys have certain places have, people can carry a weapon on them. I know that it's a right that you guys have, and certain states more than others have that. So I keep my mouth shut when it comes to things like that because I don't know what somebody's going to say or somebody's going to do, and I'm not trying to overgeneralize, but I see the passion with the political landscape in the states. Sometimes we get the news up here, we know what goes on,
Yeah.
and I don't want to say the wrong thing, get the person upset. That was
Yeah.
the only one time I had any slight, and it wasn't even an issue. We didn't fight, myself and the person, in the least bit, because I kept my mouth shut. But generally, when I go there, there's no issues. But that was the one. There was almost like a slight, like I was like a little nervous to say anything, you know. That's a long way of saying we love Vermont and it is our favorite state. And
Yeah,
we can't
Vermont is
wait to
pretty
go
cool.
back.
Just stay out of Massachusetts. They're assholes.
Maybe that guy was from Massachusetts.
It's very possible.
I've been to Massachusetts twice. I've never had a very good experience up there.
Oh no.
No, they're jerks up there. Especially when you get around Boston. Oh my god.
I've never. Have I been? No, I don't think I've ever been. No. Anyways.
Yeah, you at work you get people that are just crazy about political stuff, and I just
off.
I just don't. I just kind of like try to be invisible about it as I can. I just don't want to get involved with it,
That's it.
And
Yeah, I don't blame you. I stay the hell away from that shit.
Yeah, because I mean, there's some people that just like you say, they are very passionate about things. I mean, for a lot of different things. But yeah, it's like I it's just like religion. Hey, to each their own.
Mm-hmm.
So that's live longer that way.
Exactly. All I wanted to do there was go in the thrift store and see what cool things I could find. I didn't need to have a.
What did you find? Any cool things at the thrift store?
Oh my god, it's been years since I was there, though. I'm trying to remember what I got over there.
Is
I don't
that
think I
where
found.
Is that where you found your tam? Right there at the thrift
No,
store?
my tam was local, oddly enough, and they never sold them in Canada.
Yeah.
You know that? So the fact that I found a tam in Canada at a reasonable price, mind you. I didn't pay like $2,000 or $1,000 even, or $500 even.
Yeah,
It cost
you
me
get a good deal.
$250.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
Right? It's not in perfect shape. It boots. It has a G3 processor upgrade card in it. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, plastics are a little damaged, but no. Usually when we go to Vermont, I find my best stuff at this place that I'm assuming is no longer there. The owner said he was shutting it down because he was in this. It's not a strip mall, but a strip plaza for offices.
Mm-hmm.
So different businesses across the whole thing. And his shop is called Ribbon Recyclers, like computer printer ribbon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would get you would get a lot of the stuff that companies were dumping, older computers. Excuse me. So I mean, he had a front area where a lot of people would go to him when they needed parts, things like that. And he had a front area. excuse me, like well, he had old video game systems too, but he had like dumb terminals, like vintage dumb terminals. I'm just gonna drink a water 1 second.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so terminals. He had old TV station equipment, like their older computers for God knows what they were used for, but he had like all these racks full of them. He had keyboards from like different, from like Model M, you know, like older stuff to even newer generation, really depending what you were looking for. Tape drives, the backup, like he had everything you could think of. And behind him, so it was a small area, his storefront, but behind him he had a giant warehouse space, and it was just packed to the gills with computers. And it wasn't as big as what's that one that they found in Texas? You know, LGR went to it and all that. The
Oh,
Computer reset.
computer reset, yeah.
there you go.
So it wasn't obviously as big as that. That guy, he owned like giant warehouse full of stuff. But behind the guy, I would see him, and he, like just half the building that his spot was rented out was filled to the gills with vintage computer parts, and he would just sell this stuff like part by part, and that's how he like supported himself. He didn't really do ink anymore. That wasn't a big thing. People were not bringing, you know, old ribbons to, you know, to fit, to make work in their printers anymore. But I don't know if he's still there. Like he told me last time I went, he was gonna clear it out because the owner of the building wanted him out. They needed the space for a business next door that we're gonna take over the rental. But the guy always like was super fair with me. I remember once I picked up like a Sun, you know, the computer, a Sun computer.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Sun system, yeah.
One of their systems there, yeah.
Workstations, yeah.
He had brand new in plastic Sun keyboards, like never used, that he was selling at like $5 a pop, which to me was like a great deal. Like it's never been used. It's a rare. Well, I wouldn't call it rare, but it's a system that doesn't exist anymore. Anyways, it's stuff like that, and he had great prices. So I'd go there. I have a buddy over there who's a recycler himself, so businesses call on him, you know, to take the stuff out of their places, and he would get, yeah, I mean he would shred paper and things like that, but he would also take all their computer systems. Like he got me, if I could show it, sorry. Okay, so if I could do this right, there we go. So that's an IBM portable. This is the back of one. It's like full of cards. He was called to take this and a bunch of other IBM stuff away from, because I guess there was an IBM employee in the area. Because I know they have like a campus or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
So he picked that up for me. I used to get a ton of other things from the guy too. A lot of older systems. So anyways, when I would go to Vermont, I would get a great deal. I would get all this stuff. This actually, the mouse, right? My buddy who's a recycler down there, he got me, the mouse came with a binder with like, you know, full explanations on how to use a mouse. And it also came with software disks. So my buddy had, I think it was from the same guy for the IBM, he had picked up that binder with the floppies. Everything is like untouched. If they used it once, that'd be it.
Mm-hmm.
So he got me the binder, so I have like the entire set, I guess you could call it.
Nice.
So it's also another reason why I love Vermont.
We gotta
Got
get
all
your
this stuff I
IBM
want.
portable working so you can hook that mouse up to it.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out, it does this thing where I boot it up, it's a yellow phosphor or whatever the screen, right?
Amber. Yeah, they have amber screens in them.
And it just like, you turn it on and it's like it just shows like a line waving through the middle. Like there's a short or somewhere on that board.
Sounds like the horizontal deflection's off.
Mm.
It doesn't, you know, it doesn't make any noise though. It doesn't like seem like it's running. Like the floppy drive do nothing. Like it's just the screen.
Oh, so it sounds like there's high voltage, but nothing else.
No video.
So one of the
And
cards, I'd be willing to bet you there's probably a shorted tantalum cap on that thing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's because it's covered in them, right?
Yeah, they were notorious for them, and they're also notorious for them shorting out too. And it's usually one of the bus lines going to the ISA slots.
Well,
Seems to be the biggest culprit.
it had a RAM. I guess it was a RAM expansion card on it. There, I took it out. First, it didn't do anything. When I took the card out, then I suddenly started getting at least that sign of life. I've taken all the cards out, even like the video cards. Was it CGA? I guess. Yeah, CGA.
Yeah,
Anyways,
CGA or
and
NBA, I'm not sure which.
it still doesn't do anything. So it's on the board itself, on the logic board.
It's
It's not the
probably,
motherboard.
I'd be willing to bet you any money it's probably one of the tantalum caps along the ISA bus.
Yeah. But I don't solder, so I haven't bothered touching it.
I'd say send it down here, but I wouldn't want to pay shipping on that bitch.
No, it's super heavy.
God.
No, I have a friend who wants it, and he'll fix it. We just have to decide the trade.
My friend that wants it, unfortunately, he's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's been one of the. Don't ask me why. That's always been one of those machines I always wanted.
It's pretty cool. I've had a...
The compact portable.
What
I
time
had
are
a
you
couple
getting home?
compact portables over the years, but I always wanted the IBM portable. I don't know why.
I've had two of the compact portables. The portable 2 and portable 3, I guess. Right?
No, I
There
had
was-
two of the original portables.
Oh, yeah.
The original compact portables.
Wow.
Those were good machines, and they were actually superior to the IBM. But for some reason,
Yeah.
I always wanted the IBM. I don't know why.
It's the
I
look.
think it's just because I like IBM.
No, it's the look of it.
Call me an IBM fanboy.
No, I like it too. That's
Huh?
why it's still here. It's still here because I still like it. I'm not ready to give it up.
Yeah, sitting on top of your 5160.
Yeah, and that works. That works fine.
Does it?
It had one time I powered it up, and from the power supply, a spark went straight out the back. But it still worked. It still works just fine.
Oh,
It
that's
hasn't
good.
happened again. Guess it
Probably a
wasn't
reefer
needed,
cap.
I'm assuming. It wasn't
Battery had a
important.
heck of a lot of dust on the wrong thing.
It scared me though. I thought it was gonna burn down the house. Oof! Just shot out the back.
That's funny.
But I also had a 5150, but I got rid of that.
Yeah, they're useless.
I still have the screen though. I kept that because it works with that.
5160 is a good machine. I had 5170s. I love those things. God, I had a 6 megahertz, then I got an 8 megahertz, and then finally ended up with a 10 because they made them in 3 different speeds. And oh my God, I ran one of those things. I had one of those in high school before I got my Mac 512.
Wow.
It had the upright. It had the floor. There was a floor, an upright floor case for them. I don't know if you ever seen it. It's just a big plastic housing that
Okay.
you slide the whole computer in, and then you there's a snap-on face to hold the whole machine in there, and it basically converts it into a tower you can sit on the floor. And
That's
those things are ultra rare these days. And yeah, I used the crap out of that thing at the tail end of junior high and going into high school. And then my friend, right before my sophomore year of high school, I was working at McDonald's at the time. My boss sold me a Mac 512K Enhanced, and that was the very first Mac I ever owned. Not the first one I used, the first one I owned. That's why I'm trying to find another one. So I wish I still had that thing. That was a great machine. I had the external floppy drive. I had the image writer printer. Man, that thing was loud and slow. Printed nice though. Definitely printed nicer than the crap that we had at school.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jay.
Speaking of, never mind.
Speaking of crap,
Hey, Jay.
That tube is very low. What are you doing with it?
That's his fume extractor.
looks like he's trying to suck his keyboard up.
It extracts all kinds of stuff.
Oh god.
Just the right level to get those roaches. There you go. There you go.
Hey, how come you're not showing your face? You gave me a hard enough time about it.
I have seen my face.
You're working on a Xserve power supply?
Yep, last one of this order.
Yeah, okay. We were talking about IBMs before. It's your kind of thing, right?
What
Yeah,
about
that's why he wasn't here, because he's like, oh, you guys are talking about PCs.
Pretty much.
Which, if he would have stuck around, he would have heard that we weren't saying anything nice about PCs.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Now we are just talking about classic computers in general. But that doesn't matter because it's Jay. He doesn't care if we're talking about good things about PCs or bad things about PCs. We were just talking about PCs.
Yeah. Well, I won't be talking much until my hiccups clear up.
That's okay.
So-
We'll just laugh at you every time you have one.
So you on your third one there, Jay, or your fourth one?
This is the fifth.
Oh, fifth. Nice. Well, you're just flying through those suckers.
Yeah.
Drink or power
After you
splash?
recap about 500 of them, you should be pretty damn good at it.
I'm taking
So,
my time this weekend, though.
Have you found some that had more glue than others, or they're about the same?
No, they all suck equally.
Who makes those?
AC Bell.
Delta.
Delta.
Oh.
I think there are AC Bell ones out there, too.
Not bad, huh? And I only owned one for about a month. And then I decided it was a horrible, horrible machine and that no one should have any of these in their house.
What, Xer?
Yes.
Well, what do you know? You're Canadian.
Jay's got a cluster of them.
It's such a waste.
Quite literally.
It's such a waste of electricity and power that the thing, you don't need those.
Well, he never turns them on.
They just sit there.
Yeah.
Until I can put that cluster to work. Yep.
He's got a supercomputer in his basement.
A supercomputer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What define how it's a supercomputer? What makes it a
He's got
supercomputer?
32 G5 processors at his disposal.
Well, back in the
32
day, it was a supercomputer.
and
Yeah,
today?
you ever heard of an Xserve cluster node?
Yeah.
He's got like 8 of them.
Hey, Tech 190. How you doing?
Huh.
He has a G5 Xserve, and then he's got like 8 cluster nodes hooked up to it, and an Xserve RAID, all
I
in,
ha-
in his basement.
I have a Mac
Turned it on,
Mini.
he turned it on one time for us, and we thought we were waiting for Con Ed to fucking cut the circuit breaker to his house.
Yeah, I'm surprised we pulled it off, man.
Yeah, especially as old as your wiring is, you were saying.
Fix the camera.
It'd be
Sorry.
interesting to put a kilowatt on that whole setup and just see how
No,
much.
I'm pretty sure if I do that, I'll never fire it up again.
Probably not.
It's better to not know the actual numbers.
Well, I don't want to brag, but I have a 2018 Mac Mini.
Yeah, that's nothing to brag about, though.
I said I don't want to brag.
You don't have anything to brag over.
It has a whole 8 gigabytes of RAM because I haven't upgraded the RAM yet.
How much RAM?
8.
What are you going to upgrade to?
I'm thinking just 16. I don't see any point of going past it.
Jesus Christ.
What? You gotta pay for the RAM. It's not free. You can't just install a program.
Hey, I got a 16 gig stick of RAM here.
I need 2 of them though. I don't want to run single channel.
Fine.
Who runs a single stick?
I was going to give it to you, you fucking hoser, but fine, fuck you.
So you're one of those dual channel people? Are you
Dual
one of
channel?
those?
Well, I know dual channel at least for AMD.
Because
Is better
Mike and I here, we run triple channel all day long. So
when you're pros.
yeah,
I don't have triple channel.
On my pro,
work with me, Mike. Come on.
hold on.
On a Mac Mini, I don't think there's any going to be any big difference between running single and dual channel RAM.
No.
Again, it's like a supercomputer, so I gotta make sure that.
Jay has a real computer. Fuck your little mini.
It has a GPU.
So does Jay's supercomputer.
I have nothing else to say about it. Oh, it's what's that color there? It's
Space
black.
gray.
It's space gray.
Oh, space gray.
That makes it faster.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Good to know.
If it's, it's
My
space
the newest computer I have is
Yeah.
the iMac that I'm on, the late 2013, and but my Mac Pro, that's a 2010.
I got news for you. Our Mac Pros can run circles around that little fucking mini.
Yeah, mine
hold
out
on.
is 6. I just have a 6-core mine. I don't have the dual
That's all I
thread.
got.
Yeah.
Jay's got
Not single core.
Yeah,
No.
who gives a crap about single core?
very little stuff even uses single core anymore.
Well,
everything's-
no, wait, actually, Apple Mail is still single core.
I can open mail like nobody's business.
Yep, I believe it.
Yeah, except I don't do it on my Mac.
I don't use Apple Mail. I use Microsoft Outlook, and believe me, that uses all 12 cores. It needs all 12 cores.
I'm running this stream on my Mac Pro, so I'm not using my Mini. Well, it's because of desk space, though, because I'm on a separate. The Mini is over here at another desk.
And which Pro do you have?
This one, underneath the. Well, I have a bunch of them. I have like four or five. But this is. I took Jay's advice actually for the
Yeah.
upgrade on this one, because I actually saw GT. Right, Thompson there.
Yeah.
He did a video on upgrading his, and he mentioned Jay, and I did the exact same CPU upgrade. So it's two 3 gigahertz 6 cores.
Oh, okay. 3.06s.
Yeah, exactly.
5775s.
Yeah, and it has 20. It's a weird amount of RAM, but it's 20 gigabytes of RAM. And
That's
a
it?
GTX.
20 gigs.
I don't need more than that on this. And a GTX
Christ,
680.
I have a single processor model, and I got 64 gigs.
That's
needs
why I
that
have mine
much?
64.
But it has I flashed a GTX 680 in it. You know.
Yeah.
It works perfectly fine for what I need.
Yeah, but
And I
how,
have a
how do
boot
you use
screen.
it on Mojave?
I'm on Mojave
Yeah, but how?
because I'm a computer genius.
You're a fucking Canadian loser.
Well, you could be both.
Or, in the words of Weird Al, you're a Canadian idiot.
You could be both, really. Like, come on. Anyways, that's.
But serious, how are you using an NVIDIA card with Mojave?
It's flashed. It's Mac flashed. It's a Mac. It's Mac.
Yeah, but
Okay, I found this on the web for how are used in NVIDIA
What the
card with
fuck?
Mojave. Check it out.
shut the fuck up, bitch.
No, but it works because it's a Mac card. It's not one that needs web drivers,
Okay.
right?
So,
it-
obviously it's metal supported, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I thought Apple dropped metal support for all NVIDIA cards in Mojave.
Look, I'll even go through this whole.
No, I believe you. I'm just
Like-
curious because I was under the impression that no NVIDIA card could run under Mojave and newer.
It's working fine.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word
Uh,
for it.
metal supported, feature set Mac OS, GPU family 1 version 4, whatever it says over here. Yeah, I picked it up for like $70 the card years ago, before the whole world went crazy. I flashed it myself. I took it was one of those guides there online. I remember the site there.
Okay. I mean,
Could have been Mike Mac rumors.
I was just curious.
I used a 570. It's only a 4 gig for the mini, but that's all I need.
Jay and I both upgraded from our 5770s right before the pandemic got really bad. We were able to get our graphics cards at reasonable, normal prices.
Well, they're going back down now.
Yeah, not to where-
Crypto went like this. So now the cards are gonna go back out.
Jay, what did we pay for our cards? Like $189 or something like that?
Yeah, including shipping and taxes and all that shit. The card was $160.
Wow.
Yeah.
I paid $100 for my 570. Like, it was before I got my mini, so it's probably like 2018.
And it's a nice card, but hell, then OpenCore came along. Woo!
Yeah, and just think, I was actually the last one to adopt OpenCore out of all you guys.
Not yet. Dana still hasn't done it.
Really?
Yep, you pussy.
Oh,
I have open core in mine because you guys helped me on a live stream put it on there. So yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, that was the best thing I ever did. My God, you know, you don't really. It's one of those things you don't really notice until you actually put it on and realize what it actually does.
Yeah.
Because I always said to myself, I don't need this. I said, because, you know, I fear, well, I'm not running anything over Mojave on my computer. I don't want to run anything over Mojave on my computer. He said, well, so what do I need the open core for? Well, oh my God, after you unlock the total capabilities of that GPU, oh my God, it's like a whole different computer.
I cannot imagine rendering a video without OpenCore.
Oh man, I tell you what, after I did that, it takes me like a quarter of the time to render a video versus what it used to. You know, that used to be one of those. I'd start the video rendering and then just walk away and like go to the store or go out to dinner or something, you know, and try to keep the cats off the keyboard. Right? You fucking hairball.
Well, I still have a fully supported Mac right now, so I'm okay just
And-
keeping the Pro like
and-
this.
In my
Yeah,
Pro,
mine's an 09. Mine's fully supported by Mojave.
No, but like past it, I'm saying.
That's why I never really worried about the open core thing, because I figured, well, it's not really going to do much for me. But then after I, you know, installed it and realized, well, it's more than just installing different versions of Mac OS on your computer. You know,
Dave, what were you gonna say?
I have the Sapphire ATI Radeon R9 280X 3 gig GDDR5 4K GPU in mine. I had to go back
that's what Jay had.
and it's a good card. It works fine. I mean, I'm,
What the?
And that's the one you had, right? The R9 280 or R7 280?
The R9 280. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good card. It was a little low on video memory, but only because I started messing with Final Cut. Apart from that, it's a great solid card.
yeah, it works good. Yeah.
I had the WindForce version, which I preferred over the whatever other brands there were, because the WindForce had 3 fans, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, this one has 3 fans on it too. Yeah.
I think
Looks
you would have to have those on those R9 because those things run hot.
Yeah.
Of course, then again, so is the RX series. But I only have 2 fans on mine.
They look very pretty.
Mine lights up, but nothing really fucking matters because you can't see it anyway.
That makes it faster.
Yours
Oh, is that
lights
what
up?
it is? Yeah, I thought it did. I thought it had a light in it. Or
Mine
maybe
doesn't.
it just has an LED on the board.
Yeah. I think mine.
Oh, no, that's right. No, it doesn't light up.
You lie.
That was another one I was playing with. I was playing with another card that had LED lights in it. That's right.
Again, it adds like 10% more speed to your system.
Is that like racing stripes on my Saturn?
Exactly.
Yeah, speed makes it faster.
Exactly. That's what it does.
I should try that. I'm going to put some white racing stripes down the middle of my. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll put some racing stripes on my fucking Sonic. Maybe they'll make that thing go somewhere.
It'll look fast just sitting there, Jay, with the stripes on it. There you go.
Well, that'd be interesting. My boss will come back from vacation. Why the hell are there red stripes going down the middle of your car? Because it was the only way I could get it to go fast.
Yeah.
So after your pros are no longer functional, meaning OpenCore eventually will not be able to install a system that they're cutting out of Intel processors, what are you going to do?
Stick with whatever it does run. I was happy on Mojave until 6 months ago. So,
Yeah, but eventually you're going to be losing software support. The OS will still function.
Software. I still
Huh?
use Adobe Creative Suite 4. Still works.
Jeez.
So
Dude, I can fucking use an El Capitan system to this day and it still works just fine. So don't fucking tell me I have to go with Mojave, because I don't.
yeah, I don't need the latest for any of my stuff. I mean, my database will work. I use a lot of FileMaker Pro databases. They all work in old versions. My security software for the cameras, that'll work on pretty much anything. Virtual machines, Parallels, and VMware run on just about any OS. That's really all I do.
So there's not going to be any next generation, what is it? gosh, what's the name of the machine? Apple. The one Steve got.
Oh, the
Oh, a
studio.
The studio.
Oh, absolutely. It's just not going to be on my desk.
So your wife's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can any minute she can shave off of the time where she's doing her work is money. You know, I don't need it. I'm not in a rush to do anything. Nothing I do is important enough or makes enough money to warrant any new kind of hardware. And I
Mine's gonna
still-
be.
Huh?
Hmm? No, go ahead. You weren't done.
I still have a 2015 MacBook Pro. That if I need something faster, I can use that, but I doubt it.
My wife's supposed to be getting a new laptop this year. Her MacBook just like died essentially. The software, her SSD is just borked. It's a 2012, so I think she's gonna be getting that new MacBook Air that's probably coming out within the next few months.
Why don't you just fix the one you got?
I offered to put another SSD in her system. She said she's fed up using it. She wants something faster.
2012.
Better.
Isn't that the one that had all the GPU problems, or is that the 2011?
No, those. Well, it's the 15-inch first of all, right? And it was the 2011s.
Is it a
15
red
and
one?
17. Sorry? No.
15 and 17. Yeah, and the 13's used. Oh shit! Sorry about it. The 13's all. Oh, is it hers a 13?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It's
they
Intel.
they
Intel.
just use the Intel graphics.
Yeah, HD graphics.
Aren't those M-SATA drives? Aren't they all that stuff soldered in now?
They're SSD. They're not soldered in. It's a blade drive.
Hers is a 2012. There's no
Oh,
MSI.
it's a regular
SSD.
It's a regular SSD. Yeah.
Oh, it takes a regular one.
Yeah. But she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to mess around with any software or do OpenCore, any of that stuff for her computer. She just wants something that's supported
Well, she
fully
doesn't
out of the
have to.
box.
That's your
She's paying
job.
for. What's that?
That's your job. You install
Yeah, my
OpenCore, Core, you put Big Sur on it. She'll never even know how it's
No.
running when it's running.
Oh well, let her get a new computer, and I'll give you another toy.
Yeah, I don't touch it. Oh, I mean, her laptop? She's not going to give it to me. Her
What
old
you
one?
gonna do
No.
with it?
I don't know. It's up to her, really. She's probably going to resell it to somebody.
Screw that.
Actually, I'm going to be jealous. Her MacBook Air is going to be probably a lot faster than any machine I have.
Probably
What does she do that requires power?
Nothing really.
watches YouTube.
That's more me. Actually, the most powerful system I think I own is my iPad Pro, the 2020 with the M1. Is it 2020 or 2021 though?
2021.
2021. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the most powerful computer we have. As insane as that sounds. That iPad with that processor.
The
is
funny
more
thing
powerful.
is, the newest Apple product I have in my house is my 2016 Apple iPad Pro.
Yeah. Well,
I still have my first gen iPad Pro. I still use that thing every day. I love it.
They're good machines though. They
Oh yeah, that was actually the only Apple thing I ever bought brand new too. I bought that right when they came out.
They're
That was the
amazing.
same time. That was like about a year after I bought my the Toshiba laptop, the satellite, the one that I just sent to Trina. And
You spoiled the surprise. It was supposed to be a surprise what she got.
oh, the surprise is everything else in the box. But I bought her that laptop, and that cost me like $2,200. And I told her, I said, you know what? I'm going to go out and get myself, because I had an iPad 2 at the time. I said, I tell you what, I'm going to go out and get a new iPad, because I figured, well, I'll get an iPad, you get the keyboard to go on it if you want, and it basically makes a laptop.
Yes.
So I bought
Well-
the big honking 12.5-inch version. That thing was way
Yeah.
too big. I said, no. So I ended up selling that. I sold it for what I paid for it. And
is
'cause I
insane.
had it for like a month. And then I got the 9.7-inch version. And I think, I love that thing.
Mm.
That's like perfect, like the perfect size right there.
I like mine because of the what is it, the promotion? Like I can see the difference when I'm using it. The iPad Pro. Like you could feel it. and the speakers. I came from a Mini 4 though.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Well, I
Okay.
came from
Huge
I came from a 2. Oh no. I'm sorry. No, I came from a Mini 1. So
Yeah.
I had an iPad 2. That was my first one.
Mhm.
And then I upgraded from that to the first gen Mini, which I liked, but it was too small for some of the things I like to do.
Mhm.
And the speaker was substandard. I mean, it's a Mini. It's tiny. So when the Pro came out, I figured this is going to be the ideal machine. I said I'll just go overkill, get the top of the line. So I got this 128 gig version. I got the 32 gig version the first time because it was $799. So I sold that. I got the $800 for that, and then I turned around and bought the 128 gig version of the 9-inch version, 9-inch Pro. And I still use I use that thing. I have a 2014 MacBook Pro 15-inch, fucking beautiful machine, fast as shit. And I still use that fucking iPad every day.
But you know what's funny when you think about it? Like you're picking an iPad that like it's a pretty high end iPad, and you're getting like something super powerful. You intentionally picked the powerful one. But when you think about it, the way Apple does business though with these iPads and iPhones and everything, there is planned what is the word? Planned obsolescence. Yeah, and we all know it. I mean, after all these years of these iDevices being around, we know it's going to last 5 to 7 years, maybe.
Yeah.
So even if you got something brand new, let's say they came around at the same time, like a Mini that came out at the same time, like the not the last one, but the one before, and you picked the Pro that came out at the same time, they're probably going to last just about as long as each other. Like,
but how long something lasts is not up to Apple.
No, it's how long you're going to use it.
Yeah.
But Apple decides on the applications that you're going to be able to install on that device.
But that's the same thing. It's if you don't have a need to upgrade your version of Photoshop, if you use it for a hobby or something, stick with Photoshop.
I look at it this way. It's like I bought my iPad brand new in 2016, and here it is, 2022. Now we just got a fresh software update last year. I suspect we're probably going to get another one this year.
Yep.
And I'm thinking this year is probably going to be the last one.
For 2016? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised they're still supporting it. And I think the reason they're still supporting it is because of the iPad Pro. Because there's still so many of them out there.
Yeah.
Because the iPad Pro and the iPhone 6 and 6S was one of their most successful phones. And there's still millions. I guarantee you, there's still millions of those things in use. I mean, hell, I still have one, for fuck's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with them. They're still great phones. So I suspect this will probably be the last software update we get, if we get one this year, which I think we will.
No,
But
every year they're going to do it.
And you figure now, after this year, I can probably reliably use every application on that iPad for at least 3 more years before the companies start dropping support. And truthfully, most of the ones that are going to drop support are going to be ones like YouTube, Facebook, stuff like that, stuff that requires some kind of security that they can't implement.
All the apps that at the end of the day we don't give a shit about.
Yeah, so.
But another large part of why they keep, let's say Apple, for example, we're talking about Apple, but every year they make new, Mac OS and new iOS. When you think about it, it's also they're doing it intentionally also to drop off support for older systems, because then we tell people, oh, it's because it can't run the new OS, right? How long was Snow Leopard around for?
Not that
But
long.
then you have
It
programs,
wasn't 1 year.
projects like OpenCore that prove that the new OS runs just fine on a Core 2 Duo. I'm running Monterey on a Core 2 Duo. Come on.
Most people are not going to take the time and the effort to do that.
That's their loss.
But that's how they get that cycle of buying.
Tiger
another
was the
machine.
longest lived operating system, and it was out for 18 months or 28 months.
That's a long time.
Almost 3 years.
That's a long time
Yeah,
for
it
one
is.
single
Yeah.
OS to be constantly updated, and for Apple at least, like constantly kept. Now you got to
Well,
think.
But back then they weren't pushing the every year update either.
No, but
they were more concerned with the user getting the experience that they expect out of the machine versus updating every year. See, that didn't start coming along until Snow Leopard. When
Yeah.
Snow Leopard, especially when they went, because Snow Leopard or Lion. I'm sorry, Lion. Because that was the last. No, what was the last big cat version? Mountain Lion.
Mhm.
So Mountain Lion, that's when they started pushing we want to get an update out every year. And part of it is because Tiger stretched out so long, it became kind of outdated mainly because of the transition. The Intel transitions kind of what killed it. But it was more that they started to see it as a marketing opportunity. They're
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, well, if we push out free up, because I think Yosemite was the first landmark version.
Yeah.
And that was also when they made it free. Because remember, you still have to pay for all the big.
Was Mavericks paid?
No.
So what,
Only
is
the
somebody-
big cat versions were paid.
Mountain
Okay,
Lion
but
was
Mavericks
free,
came
wasn't it?
first.
Oh, was it Mavericks? Okay,
Yeah, Mavericks 10.9.
10.8
No, 10.8 is Mountain Lion.
or 9.
Excuse me.
I have a hard time keeping them all separate because there's so
No,
many
but
different.
a big point of mine was just saying that they are pushing it out every single year intentionally to push out the old hardware.
Yeah.
Where in the past it wasn't necessarily. I mean, they were charging for these OSs a long time ago. They were not just giving them to you.
Oh no,
So
no.
they were making the money that way. But now they're
When
like,
they
take
switched
the hardware.
When they switched from the big cat versions to the landmark versions, which were that's when they decided, well, we're going to make it free, and then marketing stepped in and said, well, if we do this every year, then we can sell more hardware because we can push out all these older machines out of the ecosystem,
Yeah.
and get these people buying new machines more often. That's part of the reason why Apple makes so damn much fucking money these days. And they do the same thing with iOS and iPad OS now. We never used to have to pay for updates.
Yeah, I remember I did it
At
on my
least-
iPod Touch.
At least
Yeah.
on the iPod Touch you did.
Yeah, I paid
I
for
don't know
it.
if you did on the. I don't think you did on the iPhone. No, I remember paying for software updates on my iPod Touch. It wasn't expensive. It was only like $5.
Yeah, I did it.
But it was just the idea that every time an update came out, you went, "Oh, I want to run the new software." You had to pay for it.
Yeah, but the prices were reasonable, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't outlandish. I think it was like $5 or $8 or something. It was cheap, so it was worth. I think I could run like iOS 3 on that thing, maybe.
Which is insane to think.
Huh?
Insane to think that we're at 16 now.
Are we? Yeah, I guess we are.
16 generations of iPhone OS. It's crazy. I just remember when these things were new.
Me
I
too.
mean, we didn't get the
I had an
original.
iPod. My first iDevice was the iPod Touch,
Yeah.
the first gen.
The prices are going to start skyrocketing on them within the next couple of years.
iPod Touches.
Yeah.
iPods. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm never gonna understand. Yes, it's discontinued. Ooh, now it's suddenly rare and everybody wants it. But it's the same as, well, actually not the same as laptops. Same as iPhones, like the older iPhones. Ooh, but the battery is gonna die, and at some point that battery is gonna swell, and at some point that battery is gonna leak. So unless you rip them open, which in 99% of all iPod cases is gonna destroy it or
Mhm.
mark it significantly. You're spending all this money to collect ticking time bombs. I don't get it.
Pretty much.
I like collecting them.
Speaking of ticking time bombs, Dave's computer exploded today.
I know, I was there. Well, no, I missed that part, but I saw the review.
It's all good though. It survived. No harm.
I would just tell everyone like it's dead, and he owes you another one.
No, he was there. He was fine. He was in my stream
Well, you
at the
should just say
beginning.
it died
He was
after
there at the beginning when I was powering it up and stuff. And he goes, "I heard a loud pop." I go, "Yeah, it popped." I go, "It's powered up and it popped." And I couldn't get it unplugged fast enough, you know. And then I smelled smoke, and then some.
See, that's what the iPod's doing now. It's just white screen of death.
Oh yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it's all good though. I mean, it survived. It didn't hurt the Raminator. It didn't hurt the logic board. It didn't hurt the. Well,
Well, you
the
could have
Blue
got a
Skies.
free Raminator out of it. You could have said that everything, all that is gone too.
Those are cheap. Those don't cost that much. The time is building them, but they're pretty easy to build.
That it's from Big Mess of Wires, right?
Used to be. It's through K Koba now. You go to his website. He took it over. His version's actually a little easier than the one through Big Mess of Wires. You can still get the Raminator like for the SE30 that plugs into the RAM slot there. You get that. That's still through Big Mess of Wires.
I didn't know they made a Raminator for the Mac Plus.
But oh yeah, K Koba does, yeah.
What's it do?
It gives you a RAM disk, and you when you boot it up, you hold on the R key when you see the little pirate logo, and it boots up right away. And then you have all kinds of applications. You have games and stuff. You can go in and you have the software in there. You can actually change the startup sound if you want. I just left mine as the glass tink, but you can change.
Does it allow you to use super drives?
That I don't know.
Oh.
I just plugged the Blue Scuzzy in there too, so I have both worlds there.
Well, I didn't know if it would allow you to use a 1.4 meg super drive in it or not.
Probably not, because it has the 800K drive in there now. I don't know if you could change it in there and if that would work or not. I probably doubt it, because aren't those...
What's the website?
Oh, hold on. I'll get it for you here.
Houseofmoth.com.
Hold on just a second. I'll find it for you. Put it here. Let me go scroll down here.
Are you going to be buying one?
You be spending that dough.
Adafruit?
It's Infinity Products. INFINISTY. Infinity Products. And you'll come up and then you click the retrospect part of it. And then it goes down to the other thing there.
This is an American site, I'm guessing?
It's Japanese,
Oh, Japanese.
but it's all in English. Yeah.
So Mike is going to be giving one of these away in his next live stream. Nice. Appreciate it. You know, I didn't win this time from Justin on his Raspberry Pi giveaway.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That's the one thing I'm not doing. I'm not doing a giveaway. I'm sorry.
Why not?
I'm not
Why
that
not?
nice. I'm keeping my stuff. I'm not making stickers, and I'm not doing a giveaway.
Oh, you're no fun. Come on.
I don't need to be fun. I stopped making videos for a while too. I'm like stuck at 205 subs, so I have no inspiration right now.
Yeah,
Do
neither
some-
do I.
Do some shorts. They do help you.
They help with views, I admit it, but at the
And
same
you'll-
time,
and
like,
you
I
will
have to be-
pick up subscribers too. All right.
Yeah, but I have to
But
enjoy what
normally,
I'm doing.
because trust me, it drives people to your channel that normally wouldn't even give you a time of day. And then when they say, "Oh yeah, this, we got some
Yeah,
stuff
it
for
worked
you."
on me. I didn't give a shit about Dave's channel, and then he started doing shorts. Nah, didn't stay
And now
away.
you still don't.
Well, you got to try different things.
No, I agree. But I honestly, I want to make a video, but it has to be something that I enjoy. And a lot of the people I follow, a lot of people we all follow, it's very catered to one single thing all the time.
Mhm.
Right? Like it's either like recapping,
Mhm.
working on Xserve power supplies, or anyways, it's just very like the same exact thing again and again. So even when I make videos, I don't like to make the same video too many times on the same
Mhm.
exact subject.
Because you don't care, or because you think the audience won't care?
Me.
Okay, because the audience doesn't give a shit. And this is gonna sound bad, but hear me out. Look at Bruce. We know
That
exactly
sounds
what
bad.
Bruce is gonna do before he starts the camera, because he only works on X amount of boards, and they're all the same: recap or
Pretty much.
trace repair. But I don't give a shit. I'm there because it's fun, and I hang out with the live chat, and you know,
Yeah.
I don't care if he does the same thing over and over, and neither do the dozens of people that are always hanging out there. Same with Steve.
Yeah.
So
But the thing is,
They
Bruce
go
on
there for
his
the entertainment, you know.
yeah, but Bruce on his last stream, was it last night? I think it was. I watched
What?
some of it. I put it on for a bit, and
streamed
he
last
was
night?
working. What's that?
he streamed last night.
Was it last night or the night
That's
before?
son
They
of a bitch. I missed it.
it was on a MacBook Pro.
Yeah, it could have been last night or Friday. I don't remember.
It was either Friday or yesterday, but he was fixing a MacBook Pro, and I found that way more interesting because I don't see him doing that. Where I've seen him do it like Mac Classics like a million times. Like it's
Yeah.
the same. It's pretty repetitive, and yeah, like his chat. He's first of all, I respect him because I think he's really good at what he does. You
You're
can
just
easily
saying
see
that
it.
because he's watching.
I don't think he's watching. I'm pretty sure he's not watching. But no, but he knows what he's talking about, knows what he's doing. So I respect that. But at the same time, he's enjoying what he's doing, right? If he didn't enjoy it, and it was just the same garbage over and over, and he didn't like it, I would not watch it.
Oh yeah.
Like it just will not be interesting. But anyways, for a personal thing, I like to record things that are something that I want to try doing. So yeah, my last Mac thing was I took that 2008 Mac Pro that I found like for a cheap price and reconditioned it. Essentially, took it completely apart, repasted it, cleaned it out, changed the graphics card, and see how I can make it workable today with different OSs. And I did all that. That interested me. I wanted to see what can you do with a 14-year-old Mac Pro. But after that, the only things that I've been finding lately that I find interesting are these old vintage games, retro games, and multi-carts, and weird systems that should have never existed. So,
How did this conversation come to be? Because I was just watching the
I don't know. It was all. It's just, I told you.
Well, I mean, it's like this. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people out there that like what Bruce does because
Yeah.
he got a lot of subscribers. So so you're doing something right.
No, I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong, though, Dave. I'm saying he's doing a great job. He enjoys what he's doing. That's the thing. But let's face it. I'm like on a personal level. I'm nowhere near what Bruce is, and I don't nearly know what he
That's
knows.
the thing. On a personal level, everybody is like Bruce or like you or like me. We all know stuff that other people don't know. And if it's interesting to other people, they'll watch it.
True. I'm still waiting for another part to that air compressor video. I thought it got 2 parts.
Now that I have a job again, I might actually spend the money on parts that I need for that.
There you go.
Yep.
And I always enjoy when Mike shows PCs on Mike's Mac Shack.
Yeah, that's just complete bullshit.
Well, like that video Mike did on that old NCR cash register, he's got a ton of views on that thing.
That's my most popular video.
Yeah. And it's
crazy.
because it's mechanical and it's just really interesting.
I would love to fucking be able to power it up and do another video on it, but I have no way of powering it right now. I've actually thought about asking my stepdad to borrow one of his generators. And putting it outside the shed door, like down like 50 feet away or something, and running an extension cord into the shed.
My favorite video of yours, Mike, is the one where you get hit by a truck and you go.
That is really cool. That's one of my favorites too. But no, and I have this conversation a lot. I get messages and stuff like, "Oh, what did you do to get started with your channel?" like, wow, you watch my shit. But that aside, just get started. Like, there's a bunch of people in this community that are dying. They want to share what they know. No, my office is a mess, or I don't have the space. Dude, go look at my first video. The audio sucks. The lighting is horrible, and just get started. But this whole vintage computer and Apple and board repair is saturated, man. There's tens of thousands of people doing it. That's why I keep telling Dave, if you start doing that paintbrush and model stuff, and Dana too, if you start putting that on video, I will guarantee you your subs will skyrocket. Because I watch people mow lawns. Like, ooh, we did this lawn for free. Look at, I eat that shit up. Carpet cleaning, I fucking love it. I don't watch any stuff unless it's one of the people I know, like you guys streaming. I don't watch any of this when I'm YouTubing. It's not even computer related.
Mhm.
So if you,
Well, I do the same thing. I look at all kinds of stuff on YouTube too. I mean, I look at crazy stuff. But well, you know, like I said, you just like I could have did a video of us yelling and screaming at each other cleaning out our garage, and that probably would have got a lot of views too. But I didn't want to do that.
probably,
You know?
yeah. No, people will just, the whole thing, especially since this whole lockdown bullshit,
Mhm.
people don't really, they care what it's about, what you're streaming about, but they care more about just hanging out with people, even if it's on a live stream. They want to be in the chat. They want to be recognized when they type something by other people, or especially by the broadcaster. They just want to hang out. They want to follow a project. There's this channel that I watch, Diesel Creek. This guy has an obsession with old diesel engines and old hardware, and he just buys it up and he fixes it. And then he does little projects on his property, like grading a road or building a driveway. And I became invested in that because I followed every episode. And now I don't really give a shit what he publishes, because I feel like I'm there hanging out with him. Like, oh, hey, how's that shed build going? You know, even if all he does is there talking about how his tractor has a mouse nest in it. So yeah, if you have anything other than computer related stuff you can do it, because people love going on the journey with you and finding out what the result is going to be.
No, but I agree with that stuff. For people want to see the streams and to interact. Like I was saying to Mike before, I love annoying the hell out of Steve on his streams. And I like just seeing if I can get him.
I think for my next stream, I'm going to work on my fans.
Yeah.
OnlyFans?
Okay.
Your OnlyFans?
Yeah.
The ones that make noise. Yeah.
I got only fans around here. I mean, no air conditioning for me.
I heard OnlyFans went down or something. They were done.
You heard it went down, or you were trying to get on?
I saw a thumbnail saying OnlyFans is done. I don't know what it's about, but I know it's going to have a lot of people screaming.
No, that ain't going nowhere.
I was going to set up my page.
So many people on there freaking. Oh my God, they were freaking out when Visa, or I guess Visa, was saying, "Well, we're not going to process payments to this site anymore because of the content they produce." I'm like, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Virtue signaling, man. It's everything these days.
You,
Mhm.
Until people start crying about it, they don't give a crap where the money comes from.
Anyways. But yeah, I just like to pester people live on stream. That's why I've become mods on so many channels so far.
Yeah. Not all of them, though.
No, not all of them. I'm still trying for a couple more. Still trying. I will get through one day. I think I should be a guest on MacYak, and then you're gonna ask me what my skill is with Macs, and I pulled the wool over everyone's eyes, essentially.
Yeah. That is likely to happen.
Well, because I see the guests that you have on, and they're very well. Okay, like people like Kai and all that know what they're doing. The technical side. for sure. Which I know for sure I don't have that level of skill for that. For sure.
Shit. There's some Wick. Ah! Yeah, I got Wick. Look at that. Plenty of Wick.
Actually, the more entertaining times are when you have things like when you have like Dan on. Because he
which
actually,
one?
well, because he's fun, you know.
Oh, Canadian Dan?
Yeah, Winnipeg Dan. Because yeah, he knows some, but like his channel more. I mean, it does focus on computers, obviously, but I find his channel focuses more on humor, collecting. It's not necessarily like he likes the machines, fine, but he doesn't. It's not. He's not like.
Well, he collects other stuff too, though, besides computers. I mean,
That's it.
One of his videos, he did a tour, and he shows a lot of model figures that he really likes, computers. Just he's got all kinds. I mean, he's got lots and lots of different collections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like, I don't know what floor he's on in his apartment building, but I'm surprised the floor hasn't given way for the amount of stuff that he's shoved in that apartment.
So yeah, but yeah, it's so. I mean, but yeah, he
amusing. He's fun.
he interjects a lot of humor in it. That's
Yeah.
fine. He's got his own style, and
That's
he's
the
got
whole
a
reason
different.
I started watching his channel. He's funny as shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's just you know he's a genuine person. He's a nice guy, and like I said, he's a lot of fun. So.
True. And then there's Dave, who like I heard he like robbed old ladies for laptops last time. For a MacBook, a polycarbonate MacBook.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
It's the planning stages right now.
I can't take it while she's on this earth. I told the son, hey, I'll take that if when that time comes, you know.
Once
Because
you
they're
guys
going
give
to
me a
clear out
phone
her house.
Yeah, why don't you call me when she croaks, okay? Then we'll talk.
And I know another lady that has an old eMac.
Yeah.
But I can't seem to pry it out of her hands. But
You know, speaking of eMac, I gave Trina one of my 2 eMacs.
yeah.
She sold it.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was using that instead of her iMac.
She was, but apparently she had a collector who wanted those iMacs that she had, those G3s, and they asked if she had like an eMac, and she does because I gave her one of the 2 that I owned, and she sold it. She said for $150. I'm like, that's insane to me. I would not pay $150 for an eMac.
Man, if you hear about, I know different currency, different country and all that, but the price of Bruce sometimes quotes for this shit, like, wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Because we'll be talking in the group chat and they're like, oh, look at this. And it'll be, I don't know, a G4 Quicksilver for
Okay.
$300, and we're all like, oh my God, that's outrageous. And Bruce jumps in and is like, oh, that's an acceptable price here. What?
Hey, I have to go now. My wife's home. We got to take stuff over to the antique store because they're closed. So anyway, thank you very much for inviting me.
Thanks for joining.
Always fun hanging out with you guys, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Okay.
See you, dude.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, I guess it really depends where you are for the value of everything. But I could never see myself paying $150 for an eMac.
Anything with a CRT, you either give it to me for free or I won't take it. So,
Effectively,
yeah.
I got too many CRTs right now anyways. Mike, are you singing in the background?
What?
He's singing.
Who's singing?
Mike, he's recording a song, I think,
Oh,
in the background.
shit. Where was I?
You were fixing a power supply for a
Yeah.
very outdated server. Oh,
You're not that outdated.
Just got a Bailey's delivery.
your wife brought you that? Wow.
Nope, my dad did.
Oh.
Sorry, I would have sang live, but I didn't think you guys wanted to hear it. Most people don't like my choice of music, so you know.
Is it death metal?
No,
That could be your opening. It should be like some death metals.
mostly alternative. I was listening to Three Doors Down.
Got somebody message me about a system I'm selling, an NES I'm selling. I've had like 15 people ask me for this thing. And I tell them it's available, and then that's how as far as it gets. I don't know why people reach out. if
Where you
they're not gonna-
located? Canada. Oh, fuck that.
No, they're in the area. They are around here. They ask, is it available? Yes. And that's it. So, were you going to buy it? What's broken and what's not? I've had people ask me for like $10 things, so it could be computer parts or whatever, and then they want me to deliver it to them. I'm like, no.
That's fine. Add another $50 to the bill.
Yeah. No, I tell them, not UPS. Like, you want it? Come get it. Well, I'll meet you halfway. Like, yeah, you're still like a good 45 minutes away. Drive there and back. No. Mikey dancing? I'm gonna end the stream in like 5 minutes and get myself up to 2 hours.
You adding the
Why?
stream?
Well, I get up at 5 a.m. for work.
So?
Well, it sucks to be you. It's not my problem.
I can't stay up all
Keep
night.
running. We'll take good care of your channel.
Oh, I'm sure you will. No. So, my 205 subscribers, they don't need that kind of thing.
We will double your stuff if you leave us alone on your channel.
Well, someone's watching right now. I don't know who it is because they haven't said anything.
Identify yourself.
Probably somebody that just accidentally left the stream on in the background.
Don't feel bad. When I live stream, I get like 5 people.
Well, your wife watches. That's one.
Your wife?
No. Touche. Very nice. What is that thing on the ground there, Mike? Is that a lunchbox? What is behind you?
The yellow thing, the orange thing?
Yeah.
Toolbox.
Oh, that's your lunchbox.
It's empty now. I don't know what I haven't figured out what to do with it yet.
Just put tools in it.
Well, that's what I had all my tools and all my computer tools and stuff. I used to carry that thing around with me when I go on jobs and stuff, but I don't really carry my tools anymore. So I put them all in little bins over there by my workbench.
Well, if you're not keeping them you're not taking them with you. There's no point.
What's that?
If you're not taking them with you, there's no point in putting it in that thing.
Yeah, that's why it's just sitting there. It should be in the closet or something, but I'm just too lazy to clean the fucking house. You know,
Yeah.
I live alone and I don't have to impress anybody.
I'll help you out.
Come on
So
down.
you have that iMac
Yeah, I
G5.
Don't even think about it.
That one has my name on it.
You don't even like it.
It's prototype.
It is.
I invested the same amount of hours as Mike into figuring that thing out. So it belongs to me.
He did actually.
Have you ever thought about maybe documenting, photographs, all that, do what you need to, and put it on eBay and see how much money people are willing to pay for it, and just put minimum sale price. Let's say, I don't know, $2K, and see if you reach it.
I probably would.
I mean, not now. Personally, I would hang on to it if I were you, because that's like a once in a lifetime thing. I would think.
Conversation piece alone is worth keeping it around for.
Yeah. But the amount of money you could probably get. And more of those G5s, the regular ones, are dying every day to begin with. So
Mike,
Yeah.
I would be interested in if you send over that iMac. I would like to recap the power supply on that thing. Because it's one of very few G5 iMacs with a functioning power supply at this point.
that's insane. That's true.
You really want me to send my iMac G5 to you?
You can send me just.
You really think I'm that stupid?
I have. Oh, you can't see it, but I still have Brody's. Hold on.
Just send it to him. Don't worry about it.
Grudy brought his G5 iMac down because it needed the power supply recapped. Yeah. That was 2 years ago or something. It's still here. Still hasn't been done.
So yeah, send him yours though.
I can't really test these without the whole iMac here, but I guess if I know the pinout, I can test it with a multimeter. But at some point, your power supply is going to crap out.
And you think I'm dumb enough to send you my whole prototype iMac G5?
Well, send me just the power supply then.
I know he just wants it so he doesn't have to send it back.
Well, that's either here nor there. No, but I'm serious though. At some point, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of putting it off. I know it needs to be done.
I don't know about
Not
the main board.
on wood. I've been in there several times and I've looked at the power supply each time I've been in there, and it still looks okay. Like just looking at it, I know that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but at least nothing is bulging or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yes, I know it does need to be done.
Send it to him.
I know the third generation iMac G5 seemed to be more reliable than the first one. So, but
I still have mine. Mine still works. It's the 2.1 gigahertz, eyesight and all that. Works perfectly fine
that's what
for now.
Mine's a 2.1.
But it is borrowed time.
Yeah, I know. One of these days I'm expecting to go over there and plug it in, and it's just not going to do anything. So I really need to clean my desk off so I can put it back where it belongs. It's supposed to be on this desk behind me.
This one?
Out up with shit.
This desk? The one to my right?
Huh?
No? The desk to my right?
Yeah. What about it?
That's where it should belongs.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm never going to come across a prototype where I am. It's never
Correct.
going to happen.
I'm not going to come across a prototype.
Well, even the other Greg Rutke, he has a prototype, doesn't he?
Yeah. One of
He's
those colorful laptops, I think.
The hell
His
does he
iBook.
have? He has a
The clamshell.
yeah, that's it.
I don't
He
know
has
how
a
we got
couple
that. lucky.
prototypes. He has a clamshell and he's got something else too.
You wonder how many of these things got into the wild and how, if
A
there's
lot
this
more than
many,
Apple wants to admit.
but how did they not notice all these things going out?
Because I think what happens is Apple ends up taking the prototypes that work perfectly fine as usable computers and just uses them in house, and then they just sell them off when they're done with them. Would be my guess. I'm figuring that's probably how that prototype got into the wild. Is it was probably used in house at Apple for some reason, just as a normal computer, or it ended up in a store somewhere and just, it got retired and sold off.
I don't
One
see
day I'll
Apple
find
doing that though.
Well, you have to remember back then, it was a lot different back then than it is now. The company's a lot more secretive now than it used to be.
What? I
Yeah.
think it's the opposite.
Really?
Yeah. Under Steve Jobs, that company was secretive as hell. Cook seems to be a bit more open about stuff. Not stuff that matters, mind you, but stuff.
He says he's open. Who knows how he really is? It's hard to gauge. But I mean, their biggest, to me at least, their biggest prototype making it to the wild was the iPhone 4.
Yeah.
The whole crazy
Well, I
thing
think
with the bar.
that ended up in the wild before the product was out.
Yeah.
Remember, after the product is released, nobody gives two shits.
No.
You know, it's really just another machine. You know, the iPhone 4 was such a big deal. You know, you talking back in the earlier days with smartphones. You know,
Yeah, 2010.
so that was a little bit of a bigger deal. And like I said, that was a pre-production model. So these things here, I'm sure these were probably released into the wild way after their useful life. You know, so at least that's what I'm figuring. I'm not. I mean, because mine has a serial number. So at one point in time, I mean, it was serialized.
I would love it if you took that to an Apple store. I would love to see, just bring it and say like, "Oh, I'm having some issues with my my iMac. Can you plug it into your that software they use there to diagnose everything and see
Yeah.
what they say?"
They look at me like those.
That would be a very disappointing experience, I promise you.
Yeah,
What, nothing's gonna happen?
What they have working the stores since at least 2013 is what I call iDevice geniuses.
Okay.
So much of the traffic is phone and iPad related. If you show up with a white iMac, 80% of them are not even going to know what's in front of them. They're
Yeah.
fucking idiots.
When I remember years ago, I came in with my MacBook Pro, and it's because I knew my Apple Care was ending, so I was like, "Oh, just do a full scan, just make sure everything's running okay or whatever." And they had plugged it in through Ethernet, and they ran all the, I don't know what you call them, the device tests or whatever.
Yeah.
I would assume they would do the same thing on that iMac, that they
Yeah.
would plug it in, and something would probably clue them off.
No. The software they run, MRI at the bar, would not work on his iMac. It's too old. And even when you make the appointment and you show up there, based on the serial number, then they're not gonna say. They're gonna say, "Sorry, we can't touch this." Literally, we cannot touch this because if it happens to break in our store, we owe you a brand new one.
Perfect. Get an M1 iMac.
Yeah, but would you trade
No.
an
I
M1
wouldn't.
iMac for a prototype G5?
No.
No, I don't even want it. I don't even want it. I mean, those new iMacs are cool looking, but Jesus Christ, they're only 20 inches.
Yeah.
That's the same size as my fucking prototype G5.
Well, there you go. So it's like a
I
side
got
step.
bigger monitors on my fucking work computer, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
They're gonna release a 27 or
Well, they're
30, I
taking their
think.
goddamn good old fucking time.
Well, you know, right now, what is it?
They should have a 30-inch model out by now.
In China. Like a lot of the areas are still locked down, right? So people can't even work.
Oh, that's what happens when you outsource all your fucking shit.
Yep.
If they bring it in house, it's gonna be even more expensive. That's
Dude,
the
how
problem.
much profit do you think they make on an iMac?
Oh,
Like,
they
it's
make-
got to be 80%.
I'm sure.
Don't feed me that bullshit.
No, but they'll still find an excuse to jack up the price.
Oh, I know that.
Oh yeah, Apple tax must be paid regardless.
They actually did try making Macs here in the States back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it was,
And they tried it again with the trash can.
Didn't they say like the new Mac Pro they were making some of them in the States also?
they're assembled in the States.
Oh, assembled. That was it.
Yeah. That
Basically,
means
so
we
they ordered-
have everything done in China and we'll put it
Yeah, so
together.
you
here.
have all the cancer-causing parts shipped over from China, or they're assembled by fucking monkeys who don't know 2 + 2 because all they're doing is they're following big diagrams on the wall that have pictures of a screwdriver with a screw putting the screw in a certain hole.
That's my favorite picture. It helps me put things together.
Yeah, that's how I got a kid.
Well, it's not our fault that you screwed the wrong one.
Oh yeah. You didn't stop me either.
Got nothing to say.
All right.
All right, well, I'm going to end the stream there.
Why?
Because
You're no fun.
Because I have to go to sleep. I have to get up in like 6 hours.
All right, Mike, you streaming next? Can't stop
No.
now.
I'm assuming you're getting up too, by the way.
Me?
Yeah.
I wake up at 8 o'clock, fucker.
Oh my god. Jay, you have a real job now. Don't you get up in the morning? In the morning?
Yeah, when I wake up between 8 and 9 ish.
Oh my god. All right.
You gotta
Well,
pick
I'll-
the right job, man.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm-
Jay. Stick around. I'll hop on our StreamYard.
All
There you
right.
go. So thank you both for joining me. I will see you on Mac Yak when I'm on Thursday.
Okay.
And let's end the broadcast there.
All right. See ya.